it will be Christmas. Christmas 1945. The first Christmas of peace. Compared to the Christmases most of us know now, I dare say it was a pretty bleak affair. But to Terry Nichols and Matthew Flaxton and the Flaxton boys, it was still something to look forward to. For Christmas is Christmas, isn't it? No matter how difficult things are. And one thing that wasn't rationed was the Christmas tree. Matthew and Terry had chosen theirs and were just waiting for the right moment to collect it before anyone else did. But the end of the year, for some, is a time to look back, to remember, like Gregg Cutler, ashamed to be known as the Bevin Boy. And yet, you know, someone had to stay at home and work the farms and factories, aye, and the coal mines. Not everybody could fight. The past was very much on someone else's mind, too. Peter Weeks, the Flaxton's family solicitor, who'd known and loved Flaxton Hall for so long, who'd seen it prosper in the good days before the war when Lady Jane, Matthew's grandmother, was alive, and who now, unhappily, brought sad tidings.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Well, you're looking well.
Can't say the same for you. You shouldn't work so hard.
Oh, no. Yeah, I've got a new boy to help me with all the work in the office, you know. I think he's going to do very well.
About time. Anyone I know?
Yes, it's Gregg Cutler.
Oh, I am glad to hear that. It was good of you to take him on.
Oh, nonsense. No, I think he's going to be very good at the job. Now, look, is Benjamin about? Because I must have his help with all this.
He'll be here in a moment. He's out in the stable with Duchess.
The mayor. You're very shrewd of Benjamin to buy that horse back from the army.
Seems right somehow that we should be starting over again with Duchess.
Yes, well, he tells me that he's high hopes of starting the horse breeding side of the business again.
We all do.
Well, it's nice to see one uniform put aside. And really, Benjamin seems to have got right back into the swing of things.
It's as if he'd almost never been away. He's been a tremendous help, but...
What? Any news from that husband of yours?
Not lately. You know, sometimes I think I can't go on for another moment without Jonathan. I always thought as soon as the war was over, he'd come straight back.
No word of his coming home, then?
No. The RAF seemed to find him indispensable. They don't seem to have a thought for Flaxton Hall.
Wish I could say the same of the Inland Revenue. I'm afraid they're going to want an awful lot of money from us.
Shall we be all right?
You mean, can you afford to stay on at the Hall? I don't know, my dear. I hope so. We'll do our best.
Now you two.
Hello, boys.
What are you up to?
Nothing. Mother, are we going to leave Flaxton Hall?
Talk about walls have ears. No, of course not.
Well, didn't you just say...
Never mind what I just said. It's very bad manners to eavesdrop.
But we weren't...
Anyway, shouldn't you be off to choir practice?
Oh. Couldn't we do Christmas decorations instead? Some smashing on in the hedgerows.
It's a little bit early for decorations. You can begin next week. Besides, you promised the vicar you'd go. Come along. It'll all be over by the time you get there.
Oh, with any luck it will be. Do we really have to go?
Yes, you do really have to go.
But I can't sing Mrs. Flaxton. You can hardly ride a bike either.
Would you rather walk?
No.
Matthew and Terry are good pals now. But that wasn't always so. For young Terry Nichols was a townie, an evacuee from London who knew nothing of country ways, and he'd found it difficult to settle down. Besides, although Matthew's father, Jonathan Flaxton, was still away in the RAF, at least he would come home sometime. But both Terry's parents were missing, and no one knew where they were, or even if they were still alive. However, Elizabeth tried hard to make a home for both the lads. And home means compensations and difficulties.
Cool, listen to that. Isn't it lovely? Talk about up the old angels sing. Gosh, we really must be late. The vicar will kill us. Do you reckon he might? I'd rather die any day than sing, honest. Someone's coming. I bet that's the vicar coming out to look for us. Let's get in there. Who's he?
Nobody much. Gregg Cutler. He didn't do anything in the war, just worked in the mines.
Cool, where'd he get away with that?
He was digging for victory down a pit. A Bevin Boy.
These are the valuations as I last listed them.
All this legal stuff isn't my line. What am I supposed to do?
Well, I want you both to go through all these lists and see that they're accurate and delete anything that doesn't apply.
What about Duchess?
No, only the possessions that belonged to the estate at the time of Lady Jane's death. Besides, you bought her yourself. She's in your name. Now, I know it's not very pleasant, Elizabeth, but it's got to be done.
Yes, I'm being silly.
Now, Benjamin, this is your list. This is to do with the estate. You take that one. And, Elizabeth, this is the actual hall itself. Thank you. Come on, cheer up, cheer up. You know, what we really need is some hard cash.
Will we have to sell much?
Sell? Well, surely it won't come to that. Flaxton wouldn't be the same.
I'm afraid Flaxton Hall will never be quite the same. And a good many things will have to be sold, I'm afraid. You see, the taxman can hit very hard, and if you own a lot of valuable property and possessions, well, the more you have to pay.
All that singing's made me hungry. I wish I had some sweets.
You've got to invent things, that's what you've got to do. You've got to imagine.
What for? What do you mean?
You know, when your sweet ration's all finished, when it's all gone, what you got to do is remember what it was like eating them. It's easy.
I wish you could do the same with money.
You mean pretend you've got it? What good would that do? No sweet coupons, no sweets, even if you got the money. Anyway, you're all right, you lot. You got lots of money.
Who says we have?
I say you have for one. You've got a big house, you must have lots of money.
But a place like Flaxton Hall doesn't run itself.
I would have thought that was obvious. Ain't your mum got no money?
I don't think she's got much.
You're joking. You gotta be. You straight?
I think that's why they wanted to get rid of us, so they could talk about money.
Do you mean to tell me that they sent us to that what's-her-name so they could
talk about money? What's he doing? He was never in the army.
He's at the nicket, mate.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I best get back to Duchess.
Yes, of course.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Hi.
Next time I come, I'll bring my new clerk, or rather, I'll get him to bring me. He's pathetically anxious to learn to drive.
How's he getting on in the office?
Slowly.
It must be hard to live with the fact that you were a Bevin boy when you really wanted to be in the army.
But when you're young, it must be difficult to believe that you're helping the war effort by digging coal instead of being in one of the fighting services.
Yes, it must be.
But the hard thing is to make him believe that I trust him absolutely, which indeed I do.
You are good.
Oh, no, nonsense. I wouldn't take the lad into the office if I didn't think he had a future. Thank you. I just want him to have an opportunity to prove himself.
Bye.
He must be a bit mad.
A bit mad? I reckon he's clean round the bend.
Now then, what's all that yelling and shouting you're doing out there in the stable yard?
Oh, there's this man.
We don't like the look of him.
We reckon he's a crook.
What makes you think that? Who is the man?
Well, you know, he's a chap who didn't do anything in the war. He worked in the mines.
You mean Gregg Cutler?
Yes, that's him.
The lad whose father was killed on active service in France?
Yes.
Gregg wanted to go in the same regiment as his father, you know, but he had no choice. He got sent down pits instead. It's not all that pleasant down the mines, you know. There's a lot of folk had a far easier time in the forces than some did down pits.
Never did.
Well, think on. Anyway, your Uncle Peter thinks he's worth employing. Gregg's going to be working for him.
But he mustn't work for Uncle Peter.
Oh, he mustn't he? Why not? Because you two don't happen to like the look of him.
Oh, Gregg, you're becoming quite an expert. Able to drive by yourself before long. Now, will you collect all the papers that we may need? I'm going to have a word with Mr. Sweet. Would you like to come along?
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, boys.
Oh, good morning, Uncle.
Lads.
Benjamin.
This is my new clerk, Gregg Cutler. This is Matthew Flaxton. This is his friend Terence Nichols.
Oh, we have met, but it was rather informal.
Ah.
Come on, Nicholas, let's go.
Hey, hold on, lads. I thought you were going to give me a name for the phone.
Oh, later.
Well, look, if you're going back to the house, will you show Gregg the way to the library?
We're not.
No.
Boys.
Right.
Thank you. All right, don't look so worried, Gregg. If there are any mistakes, I'll be the one to go to court.
Yes, sir. You may as well take this from me all. It's the inventory that Mr. Weeks wanted me to check. I made one or two alterations. I'll go with you later, if you like.
Oh, thank you, that would be a help.
Yeah.
This way.
Those two rascals didn't seem to take too kindly to Gregg. I wonder why.
I got into their heads because he didn't go in the forces. There's something wrong with him. Not to be trusted or something like that.
Oh.
This is the library.
Thank you.
What did Uncle Peter mean? That he'd have to go to court?
He meant prison.
How can Benjamin tell us we have to trust him, the Bevin boy? My Uncle Peter might have to go to prison because of him.
We can't trust him. Nobody can.
What shall we do? Shall we just go in?
We're not doing much good out here, are we?
No, there's no rush, Gregg. Let's just take our time. The best thing is to get these forms all together on one side. Right, that. Oh, hello, boys. Well, that is nice of you to bring in all that wood, but, well, really, we seem to have quite enough already. Now, let's see, that's right. Now, if you keep these ones here and move this, that should go there. I think that's right. Well, aren't you going to put the logs down?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely in order. And when you finish that page, turn the... Are you still waiting? Oh, well, you might as well see what we're doing. They won't be in our way, will they, Gregg?
Oh, no, sir.
Now, look, all these bits of paper here represent the value of the Flaxton family estate. Every single thing that they own. Now, here you are. This is a list of all their valuable family books. And then there's another one here for all the jewelry. And then this one here is the family silver.
I thought you said you were broke.
No, Terence, they're not quite broke. But you see, when somebody dies and leaves a great deal of property and valuable possessions, you have to pay death duties. Now, this is what happens when Matthew's grandmother died. And the death duties will, in this case, be rather heavy, I'm afraid.
But why not pay it with the money that Lady Flaxton left? Yes.
Yes, well, there wasn't any or very little actual money left. Only a lot of valuable property and possessions. So some of these will have to be sold in order to raise the money to pay the death duties, do you see? In fact, some of the pictures will have to go, I'm afraid.
Well, I wish you'd sell that grouch one in the hallway upstairs.
I'll make a note of it. Now, my job and Gregg's is to make a complete list of everything that the family own, and so that we can work out the amount of money that is needed to pay the death duties. But we mustn't make any mistakes, or it might look like cheating.
If someone, if anyone made a mistake, would they go to prison?
No, you only go to court if you make a deliberate and very serious mistake. Now, I'll see that that doesn't happen. Well, now, boys, that's enough. Get along, because Gregg's still got an awful lot to do, and we must leave him to it. On you go. I'll see if we can get some tea.
We shouldn't have left him, you know. Not when your Uncle Peter went out, anyway.
I couldn't think of a thing to say.
Nor could I.
So that's what we've got to find out. But we simply got to stop him. We've got to tell someone he's taken the papers and put them in his pocket. What on earth's going on? Come on, it's him! Come on! Hurry! I think his head is up. Perhaps we better get somewhere. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. What about Mr. Weeks's car, though? I had to leave, you see, so I sort of borrowed it.
You're not very used to driving, are you?
Well, he's giving me lessons. I thought I could manage, but I lost my nerve.
Well, if he's taking it to drive then, he won't mind you borrowing his car then, will he? Like that army lorry was going to borrow in the village.
I wasn't.
No, you lost your nerve again.
That's not true. I just wanted to see what it was like, you know. I always wanted to be in the army.
Why weren't you then?
You don't understand. They wouldn't let me. Nobody understands. They sent me down pits, a Bevin Boy. Drew my name out of a hat and sent me down mines.
You didn't want to go?
No. I wanted to be in the army, but... Would you do something for me? Would you go up to the house on your bikes and tell them I've taken the... I've stolen a car. Tell them I've gone.
We've got to think of something.
Yeah, and he's still got those papers. Come on.
I say, couldn't you drive the car back to the house?
So we don't have to tell him that you borrowed it.
Well, I couldn't face Mr. Weeks. He gave me a chance and I paid him back by doing something wrong.
Well, I quite often do things that I shouldn't.
Yeah, something just comes over him quite often.
I don't think I could drive the car back.
Well, couldn't we sort of push the car back? You needn't see Uncle Peter, then you could just leave.
All right, see if we can manage.
We haven't done this a lot of good, have we?
I say, couldn't we? Well, I mean, it is nearly Christmas. If we put this in the car, it was such a reason for having the car.
If we get nicked.
Please, would you help?
All right.
Can anybody join in?
Oh, hello, Benjamin. We're bringing the car back.
Were you?
We got a Christmas tree.
Oh, I can see that. It's a bit early for Christmas, isn't it? Does your mother know?
Well, no. We were rather hoping Mother and Uncle Peter wouldn't see us coming.
Oh. So it'd be like a surprise.
I think it's up to me to do some explaining.
Huh?
You see, it's about the estate papers I had to prepare for Mr. Weeks. But it's a bit foolish, really. I made a mistake.
You lads! Why don't you go with that Christmas tree? You don't scratch Mr. Weeks' car now, do you?
Yes, I know.
No.
Well, if I were you, I'd let Mr. Weeks know all about it. I'm sure it's not as bad as you make out. Now where have those lads got to?
No, it's this one for them.
Where did that tree come from that's out in the hall? I thought I told you it was too early. Did Benjamin?
Well, no, but Benjamin does know about it.
And you haven't been out with your coats off. It's as cold as Christmas.
Well, it suddenly got
Kind of hot.
Is Mr. Weeks in the library, man?
Well, time we were off, young man. You can drive if you like. Well, where's the file?
Oh, I left it in,
I'll
the
get
library
I'll
on
get
the...
I'll get
Benjamin, the papers, they've gone.
Do you two lads know anything about this?
Yes.
We saw him take the papers.
So he put them back so that Uncle Peter wouldn't have to go to jail.
What's all this about Mike going to jail?
Well, I think it'd be best if Gregg were to explain, sir.
Is anything wrong?
Yes, Mr. Weeks, see, one of the pieces of paper...
Well, look, let's go into the library. You tell me what you've done.
That's for you two. Be best if you were to apologise to Gregg.
Apologise?
Apologise. Gregg was coming back of his own free will to tell Mr. Weeks about those papers he took.
Well, he weren't when we saw him out in the lane.
But you didn't understand what was happening in the first place, did you? And immediately jumped to the wrong conclusion because you didn't happen to like the look of Gregg. That's right, isn't it?
Well, I think we'll be able to sort things out. It'll be all right.
We're sorry if we made trouble for you, Gregg.
Oh, no, it's me should apologise. If it weren't for you two, I would have run away and made matters much worse.
Peter, you're not leaving already.
Yes, my dear, we must. Greg and I still have a lot to do at the office.
Well, don't leave it too long before you come and see us again.
I'll try not to. Goodbye, my dear. Bye, boys.
Nice to have met you, Greg. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Gregg.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Gregg.
Goodbye.
Take care now.
Yes.
Snowdrop. That's what the foal's going to be called.
Snowdrop? That's lovely.
Good name for a winter foal.
Yes. I wouldn't mind a bike ride, Nickers. How about you? Oh, bikes.
Oh, they were on top of the hill.
Come on.
What on earth are they doing there? You know, sometimes I think they're quite beyond hope.
Oh, I don't know. I think they'll do.
Aye, Benjamin. I think they'll do all right, too. And perhaps they've learned it's wrong to jump to conclusions. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe next time, when we share another tale of the Flaxton boys.